If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
So this is our first topic for today. Okay, one more thing, and the important thing here is, okay, ZaranTech has a copyright to this. Okay, so it is our responsibility, okay, to not share any of the contents that we have. Like, you might have seen the contents that we have, the materials that we have here for the students. Okay, so we are not supposed to share this contents with anyone, okay, outside. Okay, this is for our own purpose, the recordings and everything that you will be getting, and the access to tenant and all. Okay, that is for whole and soul our use only, and we have to make sure that we are adhering to the process that we have. Okay, if regarding your perspective, whatever queries or doubts that you have, we are here to help. Okay, from the training perspective, I am there to help, and from regarding the any other thing, you can directly reach out to the support team that we have. Okay, if in case you are not able to access tenant or anything, any issue that you're going through, okay, they will be there to support you. You can directly raise a concern from here. Okay, here the support is available 24/7, because I know some of you are in different timings. That is the reason. Like, if you have any doubts or queries, okay, not from the technical part, for the technical part you have this discussion board, okay, where you can uh, mention your queries. Okay, and in the following session your doubts will be clarified. Okay, so today we will see mainly this four topics. Okay, what about the overview, business object, basic navigation, and landing pages. But before that, before moving to the next step, I wanted to know, like, if any one of you have any doubts regarding what is Workday, what it does, just the basic thing. Anyone has any doubt in that part? Anyone? Like, what Workday does, what we are going to learn? If anyone has that doubt, I will explain that, and I will go ahead with our today's agenda. Okay, I will take that as no, and I will move forward here. So is the these are the core concept that mainly we will be discussing, okay, in the following sessions. First one is the supervisory organization. Okay, supervisory organization is the most important one. Okay, as I was telling you before, and we will be spending little bit more time on this. Okay, so that, because once you understand it properly, the other things are pretty much related to this one. Because if there is anything that you will be, if you will not be able to understand this properly, the other thing which is connected to this one, that can become a problem. So we'll spend more time on this. Okay, I will try to, I will give you some task as well related to supervisory organization. I will give you different tasks to create. Okay, when we'll be completing our sessions related to supervisory organization, so you can go through that. Okay, after that, in this supervisory organization, there's little bit of theory where I will show you, I will give you an organization's data. But before giving you and telling you to make an organization structure at your level, I will take one for myself, and I will brief you in this session only. Like, I will take one organization and I will define, like, what are the different supervisory organizations that we have. Okay, this is the foundation of Workday HCM. That is the reason. If for any building the foundation is good, then only the building and everything will have a good structure and everything. That is the reason. Okay, Mainly supervisory organization, it might be a new thing for you, but everyone of you might have heard about it. Supervisory organization is nothing but departments in layman language or in common language that any company people knows is a department. Like in any company we have different departments. For an example, maybe HR department, maybe sales department, IT department, payroll department. So in any company we have all these departments. Okay, so supervisory organization is nothing but that. Okay, now I'm just giving a brief idea. Okay, after that, slowly and gradually, when we will be discussing about that topic, we will discuss in detail. Okay, now moving to the next one, staffing models. We will discuss like what is staffing model. Okay, so usually we have two types of staffing model. One is nothing but the job management, and the other one is nothing but position management. When we'll discuss about staffing models like job management and position management, we'll discuss like what are the differences and which scenario we use which staffing model. Okay, now coming to job profiles. Job profile, everyone of you might have heard about it. Okay, and every one of you might have an idea. Okay, like what it is. Job profiles is nothing but which gives us more idea about any specific job and the position that we have in any company. Okay, like for an example, director, manager, maybe a individual contractor. Okay, individual contractor or individual contributor is nothing but any employee who is working at an individual level. Like if a manager has 5 employees working under him, so all those 5 employees are individual worker. They have their own task, okay, to take care of. They have their own roles and responsibilities. So this type of employees are called individual contributor. For an example, if I am working at my in my company, I'm not a manager, I'm not a director, I'm not a lead or anything. If I am working at an individual capacity, then this type of employees are called individual contributor. Okay, and once we start making connections, okay, like whatever you are saying, like whatever core concepts that we are talking about right now, like supervisory organization, staffing model, job profiles, okay, all these things will be linked to a worker profile. Okay, compensation. Compensation is the integral part. Okay, for any worker, like what would be the compensation, what would be the pay, what are the allowances, what are the benefits that he is going to get. Okay, so each and everything will be covered in the compensation. And this is the way, this is the path line that we will be following. Okay, we will start from the basic navigation. Okay, after that we will move to the supervisory organization. After that we'll discuss about staffing models, then job profiles, then we'll discuss about compensation and how to configure this. Okay, after that, coming to security. Security is the most important one. Okay, and it will take some time to understand. Okay, because there are different scenarios in which we check the security and we define it, maybe for any specific user or maybe for a group of employees. Okay, depending upon the requirement that we have. Like a manager will have a completely different security, whereas a normal worker will have a different security, whereas an admin will have a different security. Okay, so you all tell me, who will have the maximum security? Admin, maybe a manager, or a individual contributor? Who will have the maximum security and why?
I
You
think
say,
individual contributor will have more security.
Okay, anyone else?
did you say admin and a manager?
Admin, manager, and an normal employee, worker, or you can say him as an individual contributor as well in
I
Workday.
think based on the job profile, the admin and then the manager may seem to have a higher authority, security than the ordinary employee.
Yes, correct. So this also depends on different scenario to scenario, but in layman language or in layman term, an admin will have the maximum security because, for an example, I am taking one of the supervisory organization, HR department. In HR department, there can be number of managers, but in that department, there will be one or two or three HR admins who will have control of all the HR process that they have in terms of Workday from Workday perspective. Okay, so an admin is responsible that each and everything is in line. Okay, from the security point of view. Okay, so from any department, an HR admin will have the maximum access. A manager a manager should have access to all the employees who is working under him. Okay, so he will have little bit more access or security rules when compared to a normal employee. A normal employee will have access to only those things related to security, like if we can see his salary or not. Like, I will give you an example, like salary. So in company, mostly what happens, if I'm an employee, I should be able to see my salary only. I should not be able to see others salary. Okay, I should be able to see my confidential data, maybe SSN number. Okay, or maybe different blood group. So there are some sensitive data, okay, from the employee perspective. So I am only uh, I should be able to only say it, not all the other employees. My colleague should not be able to see my salary. My colleague should not be able to see my SSN number and the details. My colleague should not be able to see the bank details and everything. Okay, so that is how we restrict the security from the employee perspective. Okay, my manager my manager might not have access to my salary, but he might have access to other things. Okay, which my colleague will not have, whereas an HR admin will have access to everything. Okay, in scenarios, if the client want to restrict the salary as well, that he should not be able to see the salary, only the payroll person should be able to see the salary, so we can restrict in that way. So in security, we will see like how we can restrict, okay, different tasks or different scenarios that we have from the client. Okay, depending upon the requirements. Okay, so we'll discuss in detail. There are different scenarios in which we can restrict it, and there are some limitations as well. Okay, like mainly in Workday we have domain security policy. Like, we have different domains. Okay, so there are three stages, okay, where we restrict the security. So we'll discuss that in detail, because right now it will be you will not be able to understand. Okay, but Once we go in the normal path that we have decided, like initially we'll discuss about supervisory organization, then uh, the core concept that we are seeing right now. Okay, so like that we will discuss each and every detail about security, like how we can restrict it, how we can find the right domain from where we can restrict maybe salary structure or whatever we want. Okay, after that, business process. Business process again, it's very important. Okay, because the business process that we are going to define or in the system, by that only it is going to work. Like as you can see the definition here, a sequence of one or more tasks that accomplishes a desired business objective. The meaning of this one is, like, we have so many business process already inbuilt in Workday. We just create various different tasks in it, or in different steps based on our requirement. For example, if you're trying to hire someone, you don't hire someone directly. Okay, there are few steps, okay, that we follow. Okay, once any employee is offered the role, okay, when it comes to hiring, we define his compensation. Okay, we define his organization, in which organization he is or in which organization he will work. Okay, we will have some approvals as well, like if a recruiting member has defined his organization, okay, define his salary, it will go for an approval. I want that this should be approved. Okay, the compensation should be approved by the compensation person, and the organization should be approved by maybe some other HR admin or someone. Okay, so in business process, for example, as we are discussing about the hire, in the hire business process we define all the steps. Okay, and we define the order as well, like in which order we want this steps to be executed. Okay, so when we will be doing the configuration, at that point of time you'll be able to see like how we can do. I'm just giving you a brief idea like how things work. Business objects. So Workday mainly stores the data in terms of business objects. And right now we have seen the business objects, like for example, supervisory organization, staffing models, job profiles, compensation, security, business process. So this all are the business objects. Like if I take an employee, okay, in the supervisory organization, we'll have the details regarding like in which organization he is. Okay, in staffing model, we will be able to see whether he belongs to position management or job management. In job profile, you will be able to see like the employee that we are talking about, he belongs to which job profile specifically, what is the compensation structure that he has, what is the security. We can see all the security that any specific employee has. Okay, and the business process. Okay, so this is like for an example, this is the worker that we have. He can have access to different security groups, his address, compensation, absence, position, like which position he is at, what is the role based on his position. If he is a manager, his roles will be different. If he is an individual contributor, his role will be different. If he is an admin, his role will be different. If he is the CEO of the company, the role will be different. So the role will be defined from the position, and the position will be connected with job profile. After that, we have management level and job classification. Okay, we for one single worker, all these things are interlinked with each other. Okay, and we will be configuring each and everything that you can see right now in the screen. Okay, management level is nothing but the one that I defined right now, whether he's a manager, whether he's an individual contributor, whether he's a vice president, or whether he's a director, whether he's a CEO. So we define that in the management level. Okay, I will show you all the different levels that we have defined in Workday. Okay, now we will discuss about the navigation. Anyone has any doubt till now regarding the core concept or whatever we discussed till now? Anyone? Okay, now I will just log into one of the see Kiran, if you talk about core concept is nothing but like if you study about any subject, okay, we have few core concepts, correct? So that is the meaning of that one. So to go, don't go on the wording. Okay, so like whatever we have seen right now, second, let me show you that. Okay, so this all are the core concept. Okay, okay, that we will be discussing, whereas this all are the business objects, okay, on which employee profile is completely built on or configured on, I can say. Okay, core concept is nothing but you can say like the main important concept. Okay, because there are so many things that we have apart from the we just only discuss about 6 things like supervisory organization, staffing model, job profile, security, business process, and compensation. Okay, but apart from that there are so many things. Okay, like as you can see in this diagram, okay, we have management level, we have job classification, we have address, we have absence. Okay, so this all are various business objects that we have, okay, which is connected with a worker. Okay, but the one that we saw, this all are the business objects. Okay, and at the same time they are the main core of this workday that especially I'm talking about the workday HCM that we are going to configure. Okay, so this 7 points that we discussed are the important ones. Apart from that, we have other business objects as well. But if you can see, your job profile is interlinked with management level and job classification. Okay, how this is interlinked? When you when we will do the configuration, you will be able to see it. Okay, hope I answered your question.
So business objects are something like a table, right? Like in a relational database, like
Yes.
other things. These are like, we are storing the data in each position, data in position, roles in roles, right? That's what it is.
Yes, correct. So mainly if you talk about Excel, in Excel we like in SAP we say the data maybe in the different forms, like maybe in the rows and columns. Okay, or maybe in Excel we store the data in form of rows and column for any specific thing. In same way, in Workday, we store the data for anything related to different business objects that we have. Okay. Okay. Now, today we will just see the basic navigation part. So you might have used different application or different websites. Most of the things are pretty much similar to that. Okay, like we have Facebook icon, Instagram icon. So whenever you click on any icon, it will bring back to your home page. Okay, this does the same thing. Like for an example, if I am working on something and I want to go back to my home page. So as normally we do in Facebook, WhatsApp. Okay, when you will click on Facebook button, it will bring back to you to the home page that you have. Okay, so this does pretty much the same thing. Okay, talking about the search bar. Okay, this is the most important one. Okay, whatever task or whatever report or whatever function you want to go for, you have to search it from here. This is the only path, okay, which will take you to anywhere in the workday. Okay, if you want to search any employee, okay, or any specific task like we discussed about business process, so like whatever, okay, this will give you all the reports and tasks related to business process. If you will use supervisory organization, this will show you all the results related to supervisory organization. You can see create supervisory organization, edit supervisory. This is the task. If you talk about the initial ones, report, this are the reports related to supervisory organization audit for multiple entries. Okay, this in the bottom you can see this is the supervisory organization which is already created. Okay, but there is an interesting fact as well here. We don't have to type the full name. Like right now you might have seen I typed supervisory organization completely, but the best part in Workday is, okay, we just have to type starting two letters. Okay, starting two or more letters. This will give you the desired result. Okay, like if you want to go for a task like create supervisory organization, see the task is visible here, create supervisory organization. So in the search bar we don't have to write anything completely, but make sure if I'm just using one word, okay, then in many scenarios this will not give you the desired result. So make sure, okay, so like whatever alphabetical word that you have, see, like in place of supervisory only yes is there and it didn't give me the desired result. This gave me some other result which is of no use. Okay, but yes, when you scroll down, when you go to task and report, here you can say it. So the best practice here is whenever you are searching for anything, any task, any report, okay, just type first two alphabets or more of any word and you will get the results. Okay, like as you can see in the bottom we have functional area. You can just write fun area, yeah, you'll get the results. Don't type single alphabet, type at least two or more and you will get the desired result. Okay. Now, like in Facebook or in everywhere, we can see our own profile. Okay. This is pretty much same when you will click on the profile button. Okay. You will be able to see your own profile, like the tenant that I have access. It is of someone named as Sandeep. Okay. I can see the details. Okay. And one more thing that I want to brief you. This is called tenant. Okay. And right now we are in preview tenant. I will brief you what are different types of tenant that we work on and in which scenario we work on which tenant. As you can see, I went to a profile. Okay. And the access that you have, the access is of an implementer. Implementer has completely different access, completely different security, because as an implementer, it is your responsibility to do the configuration, to do the testing and everything. So you should have access to each and every most of the security groups that you'll be working on. Okay. So we should, we do not need to create an implementer account. Okay. Usually implementer account is the security that we have related to implementer account that is already been set and defined by Workday. Okay. Whenever we create any implementer account in Workday, he will have all the access related to the implementer. Okay. We don't, there might be a scenario where an implementer need an additional access. Okay. He has the access, but he doesn't have all the access, but he has major access. Okay. Related to the configuration need, testing need and everything. Okay. So this is how you can go to the profile. Okay. So normally, as you can see here, this is the view for any implementer. Whereas when you will check for any other employee, this will be completely different. I will show you that as well. Here you can see there are 896 security group for which this Sandeep has access. And this will give you like since how many days the login has been, preferred local language settings and everything. Okay. And the custom reports. What is custom reports and all that we will discuss at the later stage. Just we are talking about the navigation. So this is how we can go to anyone's profile. Okay. If you go to account, organization ID, change password, change preference. One thing that I want to suggest, don't change your password, anything from here. Okay. This will not work. You will be given your own user ID and credentials. Just follow that. Okay. Change preference. You're not supposed to make changes in the tenant. Okay. I'm just showing you right now, like here from here, you might, because once you get an access, you can just scroll down. Okay. And you try to explore things, but don't make any changes in the standard things that we have. Like in preferred local, we don't have anything. Don't add any country or any specific language. Okay. Leave it as it is. You can see the time zone that we have. So there are so many things that you can see. Okay. Preferred currency. So we are not supposed to make any changes. Yes. But you can just explore once you have the access. By at least this, you will have an idea like from where, like for an example, if for your profile, you want to change your language. Okay. You are multilingual. You know English as well as you know some other language as well. Okay. maybe the languages that you can see. So there should be total 26 languages that I'm aware of. So there will be total 26 languages that anyone can select. And like in different applications, when we select a different language, each and everything will be converted into that language. Okay. So I'm not sure whether this tenant has the translations, okay, or not. If because mainly we have to configure the translations as well. Okay. If that would have been the case, this will be converted into that language. Okay. This symbol is to export. Like right now, you can see this. Okay. If you want to see this in an Excel format, you can export this page to an Excel file. Okay. If you want to print this page, you can click on this PDF version. You will get a PDF format of this page. Okay. Mainly this is the symbol for the PDF one. It will be easy, but for Excel, this is the symbol that you have. You can see X and this rows and columns that you can see. This is the symbol for exporting any document, any report or anything in the form of Excel. Okay. This is the inbox. In inbox, you'll have a couple of things: actions and archive. Inbox. What is inbox items? Anyone?
So those are the tasks for a user, like, they need to finish it or maybe approve. If the manager, maybe he has to approve something, those kind of tasks in inbox.
Yes, correct. In inbox, you will not only get the task. Okay, it is pretty much similar to the inbox item that we have. Okay, there might be something for our information purpose only. There might be few inbox item where we have to execute some task. Okay, so there can be a couple of things, like if there has been any changes. Okay, like for an example, like for implementer access for everyone, there has been some changes. Okay, if you get an inbox items related to that, like you're also there. Okay, that is a different thing that will come into notification. In inbox item, if you are involved in any task, okay, either you are supposed to complete any task, or if any task is getting completed and you are also a member of that specific task or maybe that specific security group, okay, you will get an inbox item. Okay, so there is only two scenarios, and there are a couple of things that you can see here: actions and archive. If there is anything, any task, okay, that is your level, okay, and so it will be, which requires an action, will be visible here. Once you complete it, once the action that is needed from your side is completed, it will move to archive. Okay, so this all you can see here successfully completed. All the completed inbox items will be there in archive, whereas all the pending ones, okay, where there is supposed to take some actions, it will be visible in the actions menu. Notifications, pretty much similar to the notifications that we get on different applications. Okay, so this is pretty much similar to that. I don't think I have to explain much about this notification. So here you have an option. Right now it is showing you from last 30 days. So from here you can choose the latest one. Okay, you have a refresh option. Okay, you can refresh it, but mainly this is automatically refreshed. Okay, in whichever format you want to see, newest on top, oldest on top. As this is showing only from the last 30 days, the oldest that you can see, it was 30 days ago. Viewing all read, unread. So this all are the various options by which you can see. Okay. This is nothing but Workday assistance, which you can see here as well. Okay. For an example, if there is anything, we are not supposed to use this menu. Okay. Workday assistant is mainly used when there is any scenario where we need help from Workday. Okay. So in that format, we use the Workday assistant. Okay. There is a Workday assistant button you can see over here, and there is a Workday assistant button that you can see here as well. So it is more of a chatbot type. Okay, like we get nowadays in various different banking applications or in common applications and website as well. We have started getting this chatbot where we can directly interact with the chatbot regarding our queries. So this is pretty much similar to that. And there is one more thing. We call it as prefix. Okay. Like we saw about the business process. Okay. And if there is any specific business process that I want to go, maybe for higher business process. So we have prefix, like for business process, we have prefix known as BP. I can just type BP and higher. I will be able to see all the business process for hire. Okay. If I want to see business process for termination, I will use semicolon, BP semicolon, termination. So this will give me results related to business process of termination. Okay. Change job, compensation, whichever business process. So this will give me results to that. If we do not have prefixes available for everything, for report we have RD, maybe supervisory organization. See, if you RD is nothing but report definition. Okay, so there are some prefixes that is available that we can use, which makes our life easy in searching any specific thing. If you want to find the prefix, just put a question mark and enter. So here you will be able to see all the business process, all the prefix, okay, that we can use. For an example, you can see for business process, it was BP. For job requisition, we have JD. For candidate, we have CAND. So you can go through all the prefixes that you have. Okay, for absence balance. So from here, you can see all the prefixes that we have available in Workday. Okay. And if you want to search anything here, what you can do is just use the normal Control F that we use in day to day. Okay, in maybe in Word or maybe in Excel, use that, because there might be a scenario, because this can have a list of so much data. Okay, but if you want to search for any specific, like if I want to search here for supervisory organization. Okay, this is not allowing me that. Okay, so for organization you can see we have org. Let me search. So mainly from this question mark, you can search for all the prefixes that we have available here. Supervisory automation. Yes, for supervisory automation mainly you have to use sup space org colon raj, which you cannot see here. Let me see if this works. Okay, this one also works. Either you can use sup space or you can directly use org, you will get the desired result. So mainly this is how you can use prefix to make your life easy in searching different task or report or anything. Okay, anyone has any doubt till here? This is the menu button that you have. Okay, here you can add different tasks. Okay, you can define the shortcuts that you want to see. Okay, I will explain you about what all this thing is, like start proxy activate. We use maximum times. Okay, you can see you can edit this, the existing one. So whatever you have, you can edit all these things. Okay, these are more about directly like in search bar, because what usually happens is in day activities, like a simple employee might be using a single report on a daily basis. So rather than going and typing, he can just go and open that specific thing. Okay, so this was more about the basic navigation that we can do. There is nothing much in the navigation part. Okay, but mainly the Excel icons that you can remember, or mainly that you will get to know slowly and gradually once you keep practicing. Okay, in the tenant, there is one button known as action menu. Okay, whenever you open any profile, like I am just opening one profile. One more thing that I want to tell you regarding this tenant is Logan McNeil. Logan McNeil is the super user, okay, for the tenant for which you will be getting the access. Here, super user means she has access, okay, to most of the, to each and everything I can say, apart from few things, okay. So you can execute all the tasks that we will be discussing from this training point of view from Logan's profile. And as far as I am aware, maybe when you will log into your tenant, okay, you might have access. You might be going to Logan's profile. I'm not sure about it. Okay, but if in case uh, you will have any access that point of time, I will see and we'll discuss on that. But the tenant for which you will be getting the access, Logan is the super user. Super user meaning she has access to most of the item that we need to execute during the entire training. Okay. And one more thing, there is one button called acts. This is the action button. Okay. This will take you to the related action of the specific employee. Okay, like as you can see, there are so many different. This will take you to different details about the employee. But from the configuration point of view, if you want to execute or if you want to make any changes on her profile, you have to use this action menu. From this, you can make changes. So this is mainly used for the configuration perspective. Right now, you can see so many data because I am having an implementer access. Okay. If you access to any normal employee, he will not be having access to all this menu buttons that you can see here. Okay. In the same way, whenever you open any task, like this is one of the supervisory or that I opened. This three dot that you can see, this is called action button. Okay. From here, we can perform different actions. Okay. This gives you additional options. Okay. Or you can say additional choices for that specific task. Okay. Or that specific report, or you can say that specific information in more details, as well as it gives us access to change okay. I will just brief you today about the tenants that I was mentioning. So usually in Workday, we have different tenants. One is called production. The other one is sandbox. The other tenant is preview. And there are other tenants as well, like implementation tenant. Talking about the production tenant, we have to keep in mind, like whenever you work for any client, we should not do anything at the initial stage in the production tenant. Mainly, we work either on sandbox or in preview. Okay, what is sandbox tenant? Okay, so mainly we have like any idea why we should not work directly on the production tenant?
Usually, like I know how it works in Salesforce, so it's the same thing. So you need to test it. Like once you configure it, we need to test it. If everything is good, or maybe the business approves or something, we can move to the production. So that's kind of like a test environment.
Yes, correct. Because see, if you talk about the production tenant, that tenant, like for an example, if I am on production tenant of maybe like Apple, okay, like Apple is currently implementing Workday right now. Okay, so there is already some configuration that is going on. Okay, sorry. So like there is a client who has already implemented this, and on that tenant, thousands or thousands of employees are working. For an example, if I make any changes, okay, by mistake, that will impact each and everyone that we have. Like for an example, if I have an implementer access, I go back and I change uh, the language, or maybe I change the setup, okay, for the tenant, that will impact each and everyone. Or if I go and if I add some other supervisory organization, or if I make a new supervisory organization, or if I terminate an employee, or if I do anything, that can have a major impact. Okay, that is the reason why it is advisable is like anytime if you're working on a new configuration, or maybe there is some, for an example, in the production tenant or the tenant which is already live on which everyone is working, if that has any issue or any error, okay, we have to work on that error in the sandbox tenant or in the preview tenant, not in the live tenant. The reason being, if you try to rectify that issue in that live tenant, maybe during that process, you try to test different things and there might be some changes which can affect or impact the other users as well, rather than that specific scenario. That is the reason we work mainly on sandbox and preview. Usually the sandbox tenant is refreshed on every week, Friday, okay? Friday after the evening time, after 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, each and every tenant get refreshed. I'm talking about the sandbox tenant. So if there have been any changes from Monday to Friday, okay, that will be reflected in the sandbox tenant, whatever changes have been there in the live tenant, or you can call it as a production tenant. So in sandbox tenant, you can test, you can do the configuration, and you can check from the testing point of view whether that is working as per your need or not, or if there is any more testing required, you can do it. Okay, in the same way, we have a copy. So mainly you can say we have a copied version of the live tenant in the sandbox. And if you're working or making any changes in the sandbox tenant, that is not going to impact the current work that is going on in the production. But there are some scenarios, okay, where we do not use sandbox tenant. For an example, as we know, sandbox get refreshed on every week. But for an example, I am working on a configuration, okay, which might take me more time, okay. But if the tenant get refreshed, okay, my work that is saved in the tenant can be gone. So in that scenario, if there is any configuration or any work that I'm doing is going to take more time, okay, I will do that work in the preview tenant. Preview tenant usually get refreshed in every 6 months whenever we have an update from Workday, or else we can update the preview tenant as per our need as well. Like if there has been so many changes in the preview tenant, and as a client, I want that the preview tenant should be refreshed maybe after a few months, I can do it. Okay. Talking about the other tenant that I mentioned, like implementation tenant. So implementation tenant is mainly used at the time of implementation whenever any client is, because at that point of time you will not have any production tenant, any sandbox, or any preview tenant. In that stage, we start from the implementation tenant, and the implementation that we do, that we move once the implementation and everything is done, okay, we move that to the various tenant, maybe based on our testing need and everything, okay. Or there might be a scenario like in I'm doing the configuration from the base, okay, in the implementation tenant, and I'm moving few things in the preview tenant for testing, okay, because I don't want to get this implementation tenant impact. So these are the different scenarios in which we use the various tenant. Anyone has any doubt related to this different type of tenants that we have? Anyone? And one more information, the tenant for which we have an access, it is a preview tenant. So now you can ask me, like, how you will identify whether that is a preview tenant, implementation tenant, which tenant is it? So each and every tenant has a separate link. Okay. So each tenant has a separate link. Okay. Maybe in many of the scenarios, so the preview link is defined. Okay. So mainly in the preview tenant, uh, many of the clients write it preview. Okay. In the same way, in the sandbox, I will show you one thing. Again, I have to log in. It will take some time because I don't remember the password. So we'll tell you in the next session when we will log in that. So mainly in the sandbox tenant, on the top left corner over here, you will be able to see the tenant name. If it is sandbox, it will be written here sandbox and the company name, and it will be highlighted with some color. So from there you can identify. Whereas in the production tenant, sorry, it will be clean. There will not be anything written over here. So mainly on top left corner, you can see like in which tenant you are apart from the link. Okay. So that is how mainly you can identify the tenant in which you are in. Apart from that, whenever you will log in, at that point of time in the status option, you can see like there would be a message inbox that will be coming up, like your sandbox tenant or your preview tenant or your production tenant. Okay, so you will get that notification when you will enter your user ID and password. You might not be able to see it because the way you log in to your Workday has a different path. That could be the reason why that will not be visible to you. Okay, but when next time we will log in, we will see. Yes, everyone has different access. Okay, for preview, for implementation, for sandbox and production, everyone has different access. The credentials will be different because see, just an example, if you are logging to any link, okay, mainly how you will be logging into this websites, mainly you'll be given a link, okay, which will take you to the credential page known as sandbox, sorry, name, where you'll find the user ID and password. When you enter the right user ID and password, then it will take you to that page. Okay, so preview, it will be a different link. For implementation, it will be a different. For sandbox, it will be a different. And production, it will be different. Okay, but you all of you will be having access to the preview tenant. Okay, but when you will work with the client will give you access to production, sandbox. You might not get an access to maybe preview tenant. Okay, that will depend completely upon the role, like the company in which we work. Okay, we have access to all the tenants and we use it by our need, but we have to be very careful, very cautious when we are using the production tenant. Okay, anyone has any other doubt? Okay, so we will wrap the session here. We'll connect back again. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thanks.
Have a great day ahead and happy weekend.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you too. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.